Recently, Nigerian singer Simi trended very heavily on Twitter. Not because she released a new song, not because of her marriage, not because of her family, but because of something she tweeted over a decade ago. Now, before this time, she had spoken strongly against rape and called for stricter punishment for perpetrators. But shortly after that, people started digging up old tweets from way back as 2012. Like old tweets, very old tweets. And these tweets really sparked outrage. Now, before we go any further, this video is not about deciding whose allegations are true and whose are false. I don't do that. That's not what this video is for. And if you follow this channel, you know that that's not what we do here. This video, in my opinion, is about something much bigger. This video is about what every young person, what every Gen Z must learn from this. Because the truth is, regardless of who you are, whether you're famous or not, the simple truth is that the internet never forgets. Now, here's the timeline. Like I said earlier, Simi made a strong public statement against rape and, calling for stronger sanctions for offenders and perpetrators. Now, after that, some Twitter users went on and digged up some very old tweets, from 2012. Now, at that time, she wasn't the Afrobeat star that we all know today. She was younger. She wasn't widely known. She was living at home, helping out at her mother's daycare. Now, many of those old tweets described, if I'm going to put it in the best way possible, described certain interactions with children in ways that many people today found very inappropriate. And of course, trust Twitter, the backlash escalated very, very quickly. Accusations began to fly everywhere. Some people went as far as labeling her a pedophile. In fact, some people have come up claiming to be the former daycare kids and, claiming to have been the recipients of some of the actions that Simi described in those tweets. And of course, comment sections have become chaotic. Simi has, of course, responded, restricted her reply section, and it's just a whole mess. Now, she did release a statement to defend herself, and she insisted that nothing perverted, that she meant nothing perverted in all of those tweets that were dug up. She claims that innocent descriptions were just simply taken out of context. And that's where things stand publicly. But pause. Like I said, this is not about Simi. This is not about her fans. This is not about the people dragging her. It's not about those, at least the way I see it. Now, the real issue here is she made those tweets in 2012. She probably was not aware that she would one day become the famous Afrobeat superstar that we all know today. She probably did not know that she would be married to another very, very popular person in Adekunle Gold. She probably did not know she would be followed by millions and millions of people all over the world, that she would be watched by brands, that she would be observed by critics. She most likely did not know about all of these things. She thought she was just tweeting. She thought she was just expressing herself online like many, many, many of us Gen Zs do today. I mean, just random thoughts, inside jokes, unfiltered commentary on different issues. And now to even put it down to our context, things like certain types of pictures we post online, certain types of videos we, put out online. Many of these things that we think are seemingly harmless. But here's the reality. Social media feels temporary, but it's actually permanent. The internet never forgets. And when you have 50, 100, 200, at best 1,000 followers, it feels like it's a small thing. But trust me, it can become global overnight. Just like that. And now when you grow, when you become influential, when you become a popular person, those things that happened in the past that you thought had just disappeared, that you thought would just be swept under the carpet, they are just waiting for an opportunity to come to the limelight. Hey there, if you're enjoying this video so far, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. And the lessons that we can take from this is that, see, you don't know who you will become. As a young person, you may just think that you're just another normal guy or just another normal girl, but you don't know where and what you will be in the next 10 years. You don't know if you will become a CEO or a pastor or a public figure or a politician or an influencer or someone respected in your own right. But guess what? The internet will always remember who you were. Always remember. So before you make any social media post, before you make any video to put on TikTok, before you do any jump on any challenge or one trend or, make a tweet, before you do anything at all on social media, ask yourself, if this post, if this tweet, if this video, if this picture resurfaces in 2035, will I be proud of it? Will I be able to show my face out in public if this video resurfaces in 2035. And here's something that we're not paying attention to. Some things may not be terrible, like some things may not be like so terrible right now, but the truth is that context evolves over time. And even if you are saying at the time, even if you buy into what Simi is saying when she said that some of this some of the tweets have been taken out of context, even if they were taken out of context, like I said, context evolves over time. Some things that were not so, some things are still an atrocity is an atrocity, yeah, but some things were not so pronounced at the time, but right now they're so big. And that's exactly the situation. Context evolves over time. Language evolves, standard evolves. The society changes. It's part and parcel of life. What felt like a joke yesterday, I tell you, will be very, very differently interpreted tomorrow. And guess what? Once it's out there in the eye of the public, you don't control interpretation anymore. You don't control you don't control how others will interpret your comments. The way they want to see it is how they would see it. So the best thing is to be extremely careful what you put out there. And you can say, hey, I can always delete my posts. I can always delete my tweets. But you're forgetting the power of screenshots. You see, the internet has archived. You'll be surprised how many people have your throwback pictures. For instance, sometimes it's your birthday and then you go online and you see some people post your throwback pictures and you'll be like, hold on a minute, where did you get those pictures? That's exactly what I'm talking about. We live in such an unforgiving generation that the moment you speak about something loudly in the present, people immediately go to your past and try to look for the time in your past where you might have spoken, something contrary to what you're saying in the present. And that means that we must be very, very, very careful about what we put out there. Reputation is very fragile. It takes many, many years to build credibility, but it just takes one moment to destroy everything that you've built. And like I said, this is not about whether the backlash is fair or is unfair. It's not about that. The damage will be done. Whether it's right or not, the damage will be done. That one is sure. And rebuilding trust is much, much harder than protecting it. Now, let me caveat this with something very important. You see, human beings grow. People change. People mature. Sometimes when we see some of the things that we used to do 10 years ago, you see it now, it makes you cringe. So it's not about perfection. I'm sure this video I'm making right now, I might see it in 10 years time and I'm saying, hold on a minute, what's wrong with maybe what are you wearing, right? Or why is the makeup like I might have one or two things to say about what I'm saying right now. That's possible. It's not about perfection. The point I'm simply trying to make is, young person, be careful. Just be careful. Be careful right now so that in the future, you're not going to be having to put out unnecessary fires. Again, you may say, I'm not famous. I don't even think I would ever be famous. That's what most famous people said before they became famous. Famous last words. And here's the truth. Even if you never become famous, if you're job hunting, your employers or potential employers will search for your social media history. Your future spouse will search for your social media history. They'll do a little bit of scouting, for the want of a better word. Your church leaders, your church members, your pastors, your future business partners or potential business partners, they will check for your social media history because they want to get a feel of who they are, who they are working with. So your digital footprint is like your shadow. It will follow you everywhere you go. So whether Simi meant harm or not, whether the accusations are exaggerated or not, it doesn't matter at this point because there's one simple and undeniable truth. The internet never forgets. So whatever it is that you're doing, do it wisely. Post wisely, tweet wisely, comment wisely, DM wisely. Whatever picture you're posting, let it be carefully considered. Whatever video you're putting out there, let it be carefully considered. If you're a content creator like I am, everything you put out there has to be carefully considered, has to be vetted. You have to, like I said, ensure that if you're seeing what you're putting out, if you're seeing it in the future, it's something you'll be proud of. Ensure that you don't sabotage your future with the actions of the present. But what do you think about it, guys? I would like to know your opinion on this. Do you think it's fair to actually judge people based on the things they've done in the past on their social media, right? And what do you think of the unforgiving nature of the social media today, of the internet today? Do it to get into the chat. I'd like to know your opinions. I would really like to know your opinions. My name is Goodness AC. See you on the next video. Adios.